Hello, welcome back to Rambling About Wrestling. My name is Sam, and this is the review for Futureshock Strike First. Today we have 6 matches on this card. This happened at the beginning of March. Sorry, I'm only just getting to it. And also, do you like the setup? Trying out new setups, trying to make things look a tiny bit more professional. Got new lights, so let me know how the setup looks, and if it's bad, I'll go back to the old ring light. But if you like this, let me know. Okay, so we're just gonna through this. I'm gonna go straight at the beginning with the first match on the card, which was Lily Winter versus Melissa Fierce. Now, this match was probably the one I was looking the most forward to. Lily Winter, freshly crowned Catch Women's Champion, and then Melissa Fierce. She's got stars. She's got grace. She'll kick you in the face, as her theme song states. So two very character-based wrestlers, I'd say. Like their personalities. I think they are really good wrestlers. But I think some of their best work is their character work. They can blend the two. And this match, I think if you take each of the matches on the card, if you're just looking at wrestling acumen rather than any sort of storytelling, this match was the best match on the card. They had all these complex sequences. They did a really good roll-up spot where it will graps, basically, just pure graps, the best way to describe it. And it was a real clinic, and I was surprised that there was only one female match on the card, because Futureshock, as of late, has been getting more female wrestlers. I hope they, obviously we saw Saxa debut against Holly Barlow. Obviously there's Lana Austin, Harley Hudson popped in for a cup of coffee. So hopefully we get more women's wrestlers, because that division, I think that it can grow really well. Futureshock just needs to, expand it, basically, and when the women put on matches like this, it shows that division is ripe for creativity. So yeah, I think this was my favourite match of the night by far. It was the first one on the card. It was a really strong opener. It was a great match. The second match on the card was Josh Easy versus Chris Ridgway. Now, I didn't see Josh Easy until this point. I didn't go to the show where he was in the Rumble. Was it an Invitational Rumble? I know there was a lot of fresh faces, Futureshock PC graduates there, and a bunch of debuts, but I didn't really fully have time to look into it. So this was my first exposure to Eze. I keep calling him Eze because that's how when I read the word, but I know it's Josh Easy. So yeah, Josh Easy. What to say that this was a great first impression. He had a bunch of character. He knew exactly how to work the match, because it was underdog overdog. Is that a word? Overdog. Is it? Goliath versus David versus Goliath. That's the term I was looking for. Don't know why I went to say Jesus versus Goliath. Oh god. But yeah, David versus Goliath story. Chris, as always, knock it out the park. His chops were a real highlight of it, and I was surprised when Easy picked up the win in this one. I will say it's weird that the first two matches both ended with surprise roll-up. Lily Winter using the ropes to beat Melissa Fierce, and then Josh Easy beating Chris Ridgway with a surprise roll-up. Um, but good on Easy, getting a win. It shows that the company trusts him, and I think he'll be really good in the adrenaline um division. I think he could have some good matches with Gorgon, AJ, Tony Wright, um, Lee Dawson. Uh, why Romy Kendrick? I don't know why his name escaped my mind. He really keeps it secret. He's the North's best kept secret after all. Couldn't even remember his name. Sorry, Romy Kendrick, you are really good. My brain just lagged for a second. So yeah, I'd say that was also a really good match. The first half was really a standout of the night. So after Josh Easy picked up the victory, the rest of Northwest Strong, uh, Teddy Ray and Keenan Kushner, they came out. They all start beating up Josh Easy. Um, but the O5, freshly crowned champions O5, came out to help Easy. I'm assuming this will be a six-man tag match. Maybe show one of the Traitors uh, cards that they have at the end of March, because it's a double header, and like double headers like Danger Zone, sometimes they work two matches, one on show one on show two. So I can see that being a show one match, and then the O5 will defend their titles on show two. Or they could not defend them. I mean, like they won it at Breaks Convention, and then they immediately defended them at this show. So maybe to get a show off. I think that would make sense. It's like how Tony had a show off of this pay-per-view. He didn't defend the Adrenaline title. So maybe that's how we're working with. And the O5 get to take a show off. They don't defend, but Tony will defend it. The Traitors show. We don't know yet. The card isn't fully out, but it's looking like a really good card. I recommend you go and check it out. I hopefully will be there for both shows. So yeah, the O5 defend against Northwest Strong, Keenan Kushner, Teddy Ray, Chris Ridgway. I don't know if the ref banned him from ringside, but he didn't stay out. Even though it's like he could have been a manager for him, but yeah, he went to the back. Maybe he was just tired after the match and the beatdown. He wanted to drink a monster. I don't know. The Ridge works in mysterious ways. So this tag match, Northwest Strong, since they've reformed, they've been unironically, the funniest thing on the UK Indies that I've seen. Because they're very expressive, and it's three men who you wouldn't expect to be as expressive. It's like watching a cartoon in real life, like Roger Rabbit, basically. Because Keenan and Teddy it wasn't over the top, which is a good thing, but it was expressive enough where it felt dynamic, if you get what I mean. So, I really like this. The O5 put in a shift. They just went for it. They was flippy doodah everywhere, jumping, diving, really dynamic offense, and it's really cool that we have champions who are younger than the promotion itself. Obviously Futureshock founded in 04. They're called the O5. So yeah. And I wonder, are we going to see more? We are getting a crop of new talent coming in. It feels like this year is going to be a big year for people either getting into training or debuting if they've already been training as wrestlers. We are seeing younger and younger people debuting. Next, we have... So there was an interval, little interval. We love that. Next, we have to open up the second half of the show. The Tevlins versus what I'm dubbing Romley, being Romy Kendrick and Dynamite Lee Dawson. This was an interesting. The build was interesting because the promos for this match made it seem like someone new was going to be uh, debuting, or getting like a match who's in the new crop of talent, because Lee Dawson said that he'd get someone from the PC, but maybe he just meant someone who, like, is a Futureshock original. Um, because when it was announced Romy Kendrick, I mean, we knew he was on the card because when Strike First was officially announced, he was one of the 4 people on the card, which was interesting. But it was interesting to see that he was in this match as Dynamite Lee Dawson's tag partner. But I think their dynamic worked really well. If they want to, be a tag team, that'd be really cool because they worked off of each other. We saw the Tevlins being real shit stirrers, rage baiting Romy Kendrick for most of the match. And it's amazing how in the span of like 6 months, the Tevlins had gone from that one guy looks like the guy in the Sports Direct logo to a credible heel tag team. I did say on the show night, if like I expect the O5 to hold the tag titles for a while, maybe until December, but I could see the Tevlins being a credible team to drop it to. Because for heel teams, we only have the Horde, the Tevlins, and Northwest Strong. Because I think FTM are more focused on the Liverpool promotions, which makes sense because they're from Liverpool. So yeah, I think that was a good match. And I really liked the story that they told. The next match, I'm going to be probably more kind than I should be to this match, because this was a last minute planned match. So originally it was going to be Gorgon versus NAJ. They were finally going to have this match that they've had to put off twice now. But NAJ, after wrestling at, I believe it was Superstar, I might be wrong. Sorry if I am wrong, but NAJ was wrestling at another promotion. He picked up an injury or a knock, and was told that it'd probably be best to not wrestle this match. So yeah, Gorgon blamed it on car troubles. But yeah, so hopefully NAJ is alright. It is a little concerning, the fact that in recent months, because in December, the Adrenaline title match that he earned didn't happen because of a similar injury he got at Burnley Pro Wrestling to his shoulder, and now this. So hopefully, NAJ, you take care of yourself, because as much as Jack jokes about being your number one hater, we don't want you to get seriously injured. So take care. So in order to give the fans 6 matches on the card, James Grayson stepped up to the plate and was the one to answer Gorgon's open challenge, basically. Because Gorgon came out, made fun of the fans, said NAJ don't care about you, he had car troubles and all that. And then James Grayson came out saying, hey, I'd fight you. And I like this because we're seeing Pele in a more singles aspect. So nice that we're seeing James Grayson also in a singles aspect, outside of Gen 1. But Gen 1 is still fine, our sources say. So yeah. In this match, it was, to say the time frame in which they would have to plan this, surprisingly better than what it could have been, because it could have been like dreadful, um, considering it was last minute. But the fact that they were able to cobble together a pretty passable match is really commendable. And they even had a spot which got the crowd, interested when Gorgon said, "You're nothing without your partner," to Grayson, and that was, that we got a bunch of oohs in the crowd. But the problem with this match is that I was distracted from the fact that it ended. Like I was, like you were watching it, and then it ends because like no one sort of reacted. I didn't even know if Gorgon hit his signature or his finisher. It just like he hit a move, and then James Grayson was down for the free. But for what it could have been a lot worse. So have to say well done to both performers, and hopefully, this hopefully Futureshock trusts James Grayson with more matches because he's really good, and I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle with Pele having this singles run. Yes. Then we move on to the main event. My king, your king, uh, Henry the Slam, Slam the Eighth, whatever you want to call him, Slam Johnson versus the leader of the MCPC, Declan McCarthy, for the title. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe this is Dec McCarthy's first defense. I don't believe he defended it at Lotto Thunder. So this was Dec McCarthy's first defense after he won it off of Joey Hayes. And it was a weird one to have as a first defense on paper. Like when I saw it announced, I was skeptical, but I like the way they took this one. So we had Kong and we had Kong with Declan, and then we had Dr. Proctor with Slam Johnson. He got up in his Henry VIII garments. He I think he had a pimp cane, which was weird. Henry VIII being a pimp. But this match is why I like Goofy Wrestling. I've always been a big proprietor of Goofy Wrestling. Jack likes it when it's a bit more serious. I like it when it's silly. Because at the end of the day, we're watching theatre with more punches. So, and theatre is silly. So, why can't we be silly? There was a bunch of like interference in the match. Like I think KZ's at one point came out, and him and Kong both beat up Sam Johnson. I might be misremembering that. It might have just been Kong, but yeah, basically at one point, like Dr. Proctor got sent to the back because McCarthy faked that he got hit with the title belt with Eddie Guerrero moves, and because Proctor was stopping Dec McCarthy from using the belt, but then when the ref turned around, he saw Proctor holding the belt, McCarthy on the floor, and that allowed Kong to come in. I think he took down the ref and then just went to beating up Slam Johnson with Dec McCarthy. But then to come to Slam Johnson's rescue from Kong, Troy Ryan. I like this storyline. I like how Troy Ryan is getting a push. Like he's not just like in the tag division. Like really sad what happened to Anderson Daniels. Please rest up. It's sad that they had to retire from wrestling, but it's health at the end of the day. We're not gonna judge. But I do like how Troy Ryan is getting a push in companies now that he's a solo star. People know that he still has star power. And Troy Ryan's just bloody brilliant. So yeah, we had multiple interferences back and forth. And I like how it didn't sort of close any story, because at the end of the day, Declan needed to cheat to win again. Like, he cheated Joey out the title with he cheated Slam Johnson. But what I like with Future Shock is that it's not, oh, they can't win a match off their own merit. It's just the fact that Declan takes the easy way out because he can. Because, like, there was so the final spot was Slam Johnson goes into the turnbuckle, but even then, Declan had the match won because you saw Slam, like, it was good acting on Slam where he looked like he had nothing left in the tank, while Declan still had some in the tank. So I liked the acting from both men because they got across that even though Declan is going to cheat to win, it's not that he needed to. He did it just to be a prick. And that's what I like about the character. Declan's a prick. And he didn't need to do that to win, but he just did it because he wanted to hurt Slam in the best way that he could. And I like how it wasn't overcomplicated at the end of the day. There was not all the PC was out there. Not all of Slam's allies was out there. It was just a really nice contest. And yeah, Declan McCarthy picked up the win and retains. And he's fighting Pele at the Traitor Show. I wonder, because it's traitors, how's that gonna factor into things? Because part of me thinks they wouldn't have James Grayson be the heel because Pele has been teased at turning on Grayson. But imagine if Grayson turned on Pele. It also could be one of the PC members turning on Declan. Like Aziz, remember he had his arm broken when we first saw him. And he's like become, one of Declan's right hand man. So imagine if Aziz turned on the PC. It's just something to think about, We could see there's a tag match between Slambulance and Tevlins. Could Slambulance break up? I hope they don't, because it feels like they've only just formed. But you know what I mean? Like, theming this around traitors, you think something's going to happen. Like, it's not just the fact that Danny Hope betrayed Joey Hayes and they're finally having their match about it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this traitor show. I feel like this show was a good segue into it. I love a Fairfield show. I love when they get a bit silly with it. And I hope for more. Yeah, so I'm going to rate this show an 8.65 out of 10. It's just above the 8.5 for me. 8.65. I think that's a fair rating. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you would rate the show. Hop on Cage Match. And remember to stay rambling.